Welcome back, guys. I'm João Chanoca. Welcome to my YouTube channel, and today I'm here to show you guys how I reach 6.3k with this unreal deck that can cut people very off guard. It's a 5.5 deck, and yeah, one of the main reasons is that when I play, for example, graveyard later on the match, I caught people very off guard. And yeah, I'm going to show you my history of matches. Like, I won like 5 in a row to reach 6.3k. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 6, 7, 8, yeah. 8 matches in a row, and I'm going to show you some of them which I was matched against high counter, or at least some counter, and basically how I proceed with this deck in order to have some chances to win it. You have to be really slow, really patient. Just try to slow down the game as much as possible, and you have to think if you have, for example, some key solutions, for example, tornado or freeze in the case you play, for example, the free muskies in single elixir, so you need to pay attention to all of that. So also let's watch this match, for instance. In here, for example, I had muskies, executioner, a graveyard, and freeze. And to me, the best thing here is really to just start with free muskies. It's quite a bet, and you can lose the match with it. For example, if the guy instantly attacks maybe mini P.E.K.K.A and Hog, and you really don't have a way to defend it, it can be a problem. But sometimes you really have to risk, and playing the free muskies in the back, you will have like some defense in case he decides to attack one tower. You have at least one musk in one tower and 2 in the other. So let's see what I do. So see, I play the musk is in the back. He also plays as defensive, and in this case you just really have to be patient. Just have to think about what can you do in order to just be in cycle. For example, he played the poison, so you have to wait. You have to wait for a good opportunity to play the graveyard and just scare him and just really surprise the guy. So in here you have to want to be as slow as possible. So just play the hut in the middle. You really shouldn't mind if you suffer some damage, but here it's in a position where I attack the other tower, I force him to play something on the other tower, and I still don't suffer any damage from that magician. So just be patient, just see what else he has, and yeah. Here I knew that he had the poison, but I really tried to. Let me pause. There, I had the executioner on the attack, so and he had played the P.E.K.K.A at the back. So if I can keep the P.E.K.K.A around that position, I can deal some kind of damage with the executioner if he doesn't play something else. Plus, I knew he was going to poison the graveyard, you know. So it was kind of a chance for me to deal some damage with the graveyard. Now he knows that I have graveyard, and you will save the poison for the graveyard. But in this case, I also have the free muskies, so you will have to decide whether to play the poison. You know, he's probably going to save it for my graveyard, so I really just want to try to and do my best to just bait that poison. You know. Here I played the four recruits in the back to have most of them to defend that P.E.K.K.A. It's my most. I have like two big counters for P.E.K.K.A, which are the recruits and the graveyard. So I really just have to defend, you know. I was very surprised and very shocked that he had. I was a little bit shocked that he had the graveyard, but it's nothing too outrageous. He's probably not gonna have freeze in hand. He's not gonna have freeze, so it pretty much because it's very rare. It's very rare that somebody has poison and freeze with graveyard, you know. So it's relatively okay. Yeah, the arrows, but still fine. I played the skeleton dragons because he had played the arrows, you know. So it's okay. Just really ate for some kind of an opportunity, you know. And because that bet went well with that graveyard and the executioner, now I have quite some advantage. So it's really just a matter of just, you know, keep trying to bite that poison, especially now that you will see the free muskies, you know, you'll be thinking about whether or not playing the poison and whether or not it's gonna attack. So in this case, he played at the graveyard, he wasn't attacking, so I will just try to have some sort of a push in the other tower. That's the good thing with this deck. I can defend on one side and still have some units to attack the other side, you know? And the other one has really to pay attention to everything that is happening. He plays some errors, but I still deal a little bit of an advantage, not much. He handled it quite well, actually. So yeah, just keep defending. I'll play the executioner in the back, just to prepare against that graveyard that is probably going to play. You know, because it seems like this guy plays a lot of graveyards whenever playing that P.E.K.K.A. So I really just use that a tornado to clean some of the skeletons. So yeah, because of that little skeletons coming from the opponents, the two muskies took a little bit of extra time to defend them and to go up, so it was a marvelous opportunity to play the Royal recruits high up, you know. And you'll not think about whether or not you should play the poison in those muskies, and what I did there was to split my attack, you know. They had a graveyard, one mosque, and one border cut on one side, and on the other side were like two mosques and one border cut, you know. So it's really some work just defend all of that. So I immediately start to push on the other side because I knew that it didn't really add that much elixir to defend, you know, and that's how I won the match. Oh, all right. Now that you have seen uh, a deck with poison, I will share with you guys one deck with like something quicker, you know, like this deck with the goblin barrel and the skeleton barrel. All right, here we go. You know, there's really not much else. For example, uh, against this type of decks, you really just have, like I said, try to slow uh, his game down. Maybe try to uh, force him to play some rockets so that he can spend more elixir on single elixir, so that he can not rotate his deck as much. Plus I have freeze and tornado, so I have two cards to counter the wherever he attacks, you know, the goblin barrel or the skeleton barrel. Let's watch. So in this case, I had executioner and skeleton dragons. So like I said, just in this case, try to play something to defend the two towers. You know, split these dragons in case, for example, if he has fireball, he will not actually cause any damage to one of those towers in case of him wanting to just eliminate those two dragons, you know. For example, he played that thing. I actually, if I had played that correctly, if there's like uh, each goblin in one section of the tower, that freeze would be okay. But in that case, possibly the giant would be only enough, but that's okay. You much rather predict what he's going to do than, you know, just suffer a bunch of damage. So he played the skeleton box, then and the skeleton barrel, and I simply defend that. I simply defend that with the executioner. And here I was in some sort of a pickle because I had uh, three expensive cards to play, so I was really in a complicated situation. You ideally want to play the against this type of matchup. You want to play the graveyard because you can easily rotate the deck with cards that are not that expensive, you know. So here I didn't add that much solution than rather play or the hut and hope that it doesn't really play much else, or the Royal recruits high up just eliminate that little archer princess. I meant. Uh, what can I say more about that? This game, there he made a big mistake because he let me have quite a bunch of damage with that executioner. Let's see, he's probably going to cycle back to the goblin, yeah, to the goblin. So just push that under the tower. You shouldn't really care if he deals a little bit of damage because it's just really normal against a fast cycle deck. You really going to suffer a bit of damage probably in some matches. It's just okay. You just have to try to be smart with what you have, and just try to give yourself some chance to win the match. So I play the princess in the back, in his back. He comes back with that barrel, skeleton barrel. I just defend that. Here I can have a good opportunity to play the muskies. My plan is just for him to play. He actually didn't had, right? He didn't had the what's it called? The rocket, which it's in most of the decks that include the goblin barrel, but that's okay. It kind of favors me, you know. It dealt a couple of damage, but that's not a problem. There, not a problem. Just keep trying. Really, the one thing that was really hard to play against this specific deck was that he had the skeleton army. Because unless I have the executioner or the baby D's ready, it's going to be tough. Because if I do a patch with the Muskies and then the Warrior Recruits up front in the Elixir, it's going to defend that very easily. That's the one thing that was quite hard. But even though I still made a couple of damage. Just keep defending. I played that tornado because I played the executioner in a bit of the wrong spot. I should have played a little bit more to the side probably, so that I wouldn't suffer the damage from the what's it called, the princess. So I'm gonna fast forward a little bit. Just keep defending. Just wait for an opportunity. We really want to just play the muskies, then the recruits, and then like the executioner or the tornado for the skeleton skeleton army. Play the recruits, and now I just attack. And I will have the tornado in case he has, for example, the skeleton army or the freeze. And that was basically GG because, yeah, like I said, you have to pay attention to both towers. It's a dual line deck, and you can play so much because, like, a Mosky is 4 elixir, right? So 3 Moskies would be like 12 elixir, and 3 Moskies for 9 elixir is quite some bargain, and you can quite take some advantage of that. Let's see, for example, check out very quickly a quick deck that includes. Maybe I don't have one here that includes like rockets with, yeah. Let's see. This deck was quite harsh as well. This deck of. I think it was a bit harsh. I don't know. I think he focused on one tower only, and he just kinda let me win. Let's check this match. For example, in this startup, you want to not really play the executioner in the violence you really don't have that much of an option, but you really want to play something that is dual line or the barbarian hut at the start. If you have, like, for example, the barbarian hut and then the tornado, if he plays, for example, the hawk in, no, the balloon in the other line, you can tornado back to the barbarian hut. You see what I mean? So in this case, seems like I'm going to buy the rare goods in the back, just shutting down and trying to defend. Here it's kind of harsh against Sparky. You really have the freeze, you have the graveyard and the rare goods to defend. Mainly, you want to play the rare goods, I guess. It really does a massive defensive job, a really good job in terms of the defensive part of it against Sparky. So you just wait and just save that freeze, because that will be one of your only options. I tried to attack the other side, because right when he played that, how do you call that? When he played that giant, he really didn't push every single warrior could, so I just tried to deal some damage on the other tower and try to make things a little bit more equal. So here I really just probably concede. He really decided to just keep attacking, so I will concede this tower, and you'll basically trade the tower. I just have to defend this push with executioner and freeze. Just have to wait for the best opportunity. There, see, because you want to defend, you don't want to get free cornered, so just really give up of that tower and just defend. So in the end, I'm with quite some advantage, because his Tower King was quite damaged, received quite some damage, so just play defensively, play the Barbarian Hut in a defensive spot, and just wait a bit. Just see what he does. In any case, if he attacks something, I will have the skeleton dragon, so it's really not a massive deal. And now I will have the warrior goods to defend. I'll play that in such a spot where both towers will defend. It's really not a massive deal if you suffer some damage on the main tower. Just really have to wait for a good opportunity. There I tried to freeze that, but he played a very good. He played a very, very nice. I forgot that name. That little ball, that freeze ball. I can't remember the name. He's right. Let's see. Playing defensively, I don't mind that little mosquito just be demolished by the Sparky. It's not a problem. At this point, just really focus on the defensive part, because you also have to defend the other tower. It's not just attack. You have to have the. You need to be careful, right? You need to not just attack. This is just not a game about attacking. Obviously, you can just win by attacking, but it's not with every single deck. I guess you have to pay attention to the defensive part as well, and be patient. Defend as well. It's not just putting cards on the bridge. So here, because I dealt so much damage, and that left side tower was occupied, so I really just tried to take out that main tower with the graveyard and the freeze, and that's what it happened. See, obviously, it's not good against every single matchup. I'm going to lose a bunch of games, but it seems like I can win some of them. It's quite a nice deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm currently, let me see, I'm playing just for fun, and it's quite something when I can make some people a little bit triggered due to this deck, but it kinda works if you are patient. He has quite some solutions for these big and expensive cards. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Just play things for fun. I'm like what, top 50 in my country? Even if I'm not in the top, it's not a problem. I'm just playing for fun, and I quite enjoy playing with this deck. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Uh, whether you like or not this deck, well, at least you know this now. You can simply just try it out, right? And I hope you guys have an amazing day, an amazing week, and I will see you next time. Take care.
Touch